Everyone, I'm Virginia Kilmore and welcome to my studio. Today finishes off a week of showing you lots of new stamping supplies that are coming out in January, and I can't wait to share this card with you. Now, you've seen this stamp set, but it's a different way to use it, and I think we should get started because it's going to be lots of fun. So this is the card. I know we've done a card like this before. We did one in a Christmas theme with trees, but I just thought this card is such a neat little technique and so easy to do that we should try to do it again. And I thought this stamp set particularly really helped set up this card really beautifully. So I'm going to zoom out so you can see everything. And to make this card, we're going to start with a piece of very vanilla cardstock. Before we mention that, though, I don't know how many of you know that Whisper White is going to be discontinued soon. The company that Stampin' Up purchased the Whisper White is going out of business due to COVID. And so if you need Whisper White, please order 2 packs. That's all you're allowed to order. I'll have a link at the bottom of my post where you can go to my... Before we start with the card today, I wanted to mention, I think I've said this earlier in the week, that Whisper White cardstock is going to be discontinued. The company that Stampin' Up works with has gone out of business due to COVID. So they're scrambling to get new stock of Whisper White, and of course they're very rigorous about how the quality is for what we do with stamping. So right now you can order 2 packs of Whisper White cardstock. Whisper White envelopes are affected. Whisper White thick cardstock is already sold out. I even ordered the 12 by 12 just to make sure that I have enough for the next few weeks. I don't know how long it'll be, but I wanted to make sure you knew about that so that you can order it. And if you need the link, it's going to be at the bottom of this post where you can order directly from me. So let's get back to the card. Very vanilla. I've showed you this before, but in case you don't know or don't remember, you're going to take a piece of 8.5 by 11 very vanilla cardstock, and you could also do this on Whisper White. And you are going to measure 2.5 inches from the bottom and make a little tick mark. I did it on my cutter, and I actually used a bone folder to mark the corner. And then I flipped it over and did the same on the other side because I needed to have a tick mark over here. And then I just lined up the 2 and cut it in half. And that's how I got this piece. Now, you could go ahead and score at 3 5/8, but I'm going to wait till after I stamp. I like to do all my stamping and then my folding. And I'm going to bring in a scrap piece of paper. I know it's Friday, but I always like to be careful of my surface. And just like we did on Monday, we're going to use the 2 larger surface stamps first, and we are going to be stamping off a lot, so that's why I need this large piece of paper anyways. When I made this card, I wanted to make sure I had room to write happy birthday. So at this end, I am going to leave a little more spacing between the bottom flowers and the top ones. So I'm going to go ahead and just start stamping. Just like we did the other day, I stamp off and then go to another spot. Noticing that I didn't do a good job with that, so I'm going to go ahead and re-ink it and stamp it off again. I want to leave enough room to get a flower in between each of them. And as I go higher, I'm going to come down lower into the area of the card. I was talking about this on Monday, how photopolymer, you really need to press harder than you're used to with a red rubber. And I still find that to be true. Now, I have a little bit of a yucky part right here, and that's always troublesome for me. So I clean that off, and now I'm going to use this stamp set. You really want, for something like this pad to be well inked so that you can go through and do that. I mean, it's a lot of stamping. Invariably, when I do a card like this, I forget and I just stamp. So I'm going to leave room here for my sentiment. See how I left a little spot? Though that might not be the front of the card, so I have to remember that when I go. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Oops. Last one. Now, I could leave more room in here to write in as well, so I'll think about that as I go to do this one. I think I'm going to start right out with this stamp. I love this little floral spray. It's just so pretty. Again, I don't want to go too high because I want to leave room for a sentiment. I think that's enough. Let's see whether I like it or I need to add one more. I'm going to go ahead and do the big one now. I'm going to try to stamp that a little bit smaller this time so that I have room. I never can remember which side's going to be the front, so I try to be consistent with the process. So far I'm batting 1,000. I haven't stamped it directly from the pad, but give me time. I think I'm going to stamp this one more time. Now, I didn't do a great job there, but the nice part is because I'm going to fill in, I'm not going to worry about it. Okay, I survived this one without stamping a bad spot. I'm thrilled. So now we just have to get this in. There is a perfect spot that you can line it up, but if you don't get it right, remember that this is supposed to look artistic, handmade, not perfect. So if you don't get it right, don't worry about it. It's a handmade card. The love is there. And that's all that matters. I'm going to bring this down here because I don't need to re-ink anymore. It's just the hard part is lining it up properly. Okay, let's go to the other side with this. This is mostly stamping this card. There's not a lot to do, but the stamping is what makes it really special. Okay, 2 more of this and then we'll get into the other one. Now the new catalog is stunning. I see so many beautiful things in it. And I keep going back and finding more. I've already spent a fortune on some of the new things. This last one is very little, but you have to do it 3 times for each little floral spray. And I like the fact that my pad is not really stamping perfectly because it's actually adding to the drama a little bit. You've gotten to see two stamp sets this week. The Dandy Garden, which is one of my favorite new ones. It was one of the first ones I got, and then this Fine Art one. Okay, one more side. See this one I messed up? I'm going to make sure I do a good job, and you don't even see it now. I love two-step stamping for that reason. A lot of times you just can't get it right. And especially how fast I'm stamping, it's really ripe for making a mistake. But I have used this one even as a center here to add a little more drama to the peony. And I kind of like what I did there because I wasn't happy with that stamp anyways. Okay, I think I'm happy. I've left a nice area to write in. My stamping is done. So now all I have to do is mark it at 2, and I think it's 3/8. What is it that I wrote? 5/8. Or score it at 2 5/8. 2 1/2. And you know what I find? If you flip it this way, you're going to have a lot better chance of getting it right. So that's 2 1/2, that's 5/8 right there. Make sure I have it nice and straight. Bring it. It doesn't look right. Is it 2 or 3? It's 3 5/8. Oh, it's a good thing I checked. I knew something didn't look right. So that's 3 1/2, that's 5/8. And I'm going to flip it on this side here because it's so hard to get it nice and straight unless you have a straight edge. So there's 3 5/8. Let's see how well that came out. Now I have found that sometimes I need to make adjustments when I'm done. But this looks pretty good. I'm going to make a slight adjustment here. You see how that's not sitting quite evenly? So I'm going to go ahead and bring that back there. Much happier with that. And now I have a spot. I thought I needed it here, but I actually needed it here, but I did a good job. And I forgot I need to do that. Now, the stamp set I have for that is from the same set. And of course, I can't find it right this second. Here it is. And I want to make sure that I ink it very well because I want a nice dark happy birthday. There. Great. And now what's left to do is just to decorate it. This is a simple card. I'm going to cut a piece with this new ribbon that's just ever so slightly bigger, and then I'm going to trim it after I glue it down. And I'm going to use my tape runner right across the ribbon. Ooh, that wasn't a good idea because now I got tape on there. Should have had my little silicone pad, which I always have out, but I forgot to put it out today. So I'm going to go ahead and glue that right on there. And then I can just trim the excess. And you may not be able to see it, but I used these elegant faceted gems just to add another little touch of sparkle to the card. But I've got to find my poking tool. There it is. I think I used one right there. Maybe one right there. And one maybe right near the happy birthday there. just put it right there. I like to do everything in threes. So there you have it. 2 really nice cards using the fine art that is going to be available in January. I hope you've enjoyed this week, and I'll see you next week on Monday. And have a great weekend. Be safe.